Ia! Já está, olha. Agora como é que eu tiro isto daqui? É gigante. Olha, anda-me cá a ajudar. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and in here I have the Bearking Hera Pro. This is a reel that has a very good caveat. The caveat is that it has the same type of mechanism than the Ultegra, the Stella, the Vanford, the Stradic. So it has a worm gear inside, and it costs something like in between 30 to 40 euros. Being a Bearking, it cannot be that expensive. So I got the Hera Pro because it's a 1000S reel. You can get it bigger with deeper spools, but I'm really interested on this one. It also has some other features that make it feel like a Shimano, but for show you that and to later on see how it feels fishing, if I can compare it with some sort of Shimano that I have, like the Ultegra right here, and tell you all about it. First we need to finish unboxing and I can tell you all about the tech on this reel.
As you can see, we have 4 options on this table. So it's the 1000S, C2000S, 2500S, 3000S. All of them feature 6+1 ball bearings, 5.2 to 1 gear ratio. They will take different amounts of line, as you can see on the table there, but the main difference is the weight and the drag. So the smaller ones weigh around 170 and the bigger ones around 210 grams. And the drag difference from 4 kilos to 6 kilos when you go up on the bigger size. You also get the cover, extra cover. You have that nice bag that you can put the reel in, and you also get a washer. But look at this nice detail. They put a cover also on the threads of the handle, and the handle is a one-piece handle. It's sort of like formed carbon, so it's probably a composite with carbon flakes inside, and the knob has actual rubber in it. But let me show you why did we get this reel. So this is the exploded diagram, and this is the imported bit that makes this reel very similar to the most expensive reels from Shimano. It's the worm shaft. You can see that's the mechanism that will reduce, I would say, massively the up and down movement of the spool, which will help with line lay. And owning the Ultegra, I just noticed that even the simpler systems are better than the cheaper versions from Shimano. So if you have like a Casking Valiant Eagle, Casking Valiant Eagle Ultra, Casking Castrol, Casking Zephyr that has the extra gear to reduce the up and down movement, the counts of the up and down movement are higher on those models than the Shimano Ultegra that I have, which is the 2026 model. But with this, look at it. It's actually quite smooth. It came with a one-piece bail wire, which is also awesome. So everything right now on this reel seems too good to be true, but it's actually true. So let's count the up and down movements. As you can see, it's probably not the best way to see it on camera, but let's try. So I think by the end, because I'm counting on Portuguese and I'm listening to myself talking in Portuguese during this video, so I don't lose notion of what I need to point out. But by the end, you can count in between 17 and 18 rotations of the bail wire on the spool itself, which is one of the highest counts that I have so far. And you will see on the future of the channel a lot of reels with slow oscillation mechanisms like the Linux, King Snake, different Bearkings, the Caskings, the Ultegra that I actually just filmed the in-water action. And another feature that you will see on the Shimanos, it's the drag mechanism. So instead of having the, let's call it the female part, the part where it makes the sound, like the bell inside of the spool. In here you just have like a thick gear, and then you have the sounding mechanism. It's inside of the spool. So it's like the cheap reels that have like a stupid washer, but in this one it's a thick one made out of nylon. Let's see how it will hold, but I have to say the Ultegra, it's a lot more expensive than this one. I would say 5 to 7 to 8 times more expensive, and you have the same exact mechanism. So it's not a metal part, it's also a composite part. And in here we have the drag. It's a carbon washer, but on top of the carbon washer you have also a composite washer, and this one is a first for me. I never saw something like this. Usually it's like stainless steel washer, aluminium washer, but never a composite washer. A little bit weird, but maybe it will help with the drag, the not getting sticky as sometimes you will get with carbon. So let's put everything, everything back together. So let's put the retention spring. And man, these tweezers are so good. So the spool itself, it's also very well machined, so you don't have any problems, any flashing, any I would say difference in size that sometimes can happen on the machining on the holes that you see on the side. So everything seems quite perfect. And the body itself, it's actually also quite rigid. So I'm very satisfied with what I've seen from the reel so far. So I think this will be a 2026 solid option. And now just a quick weigh-in. It should come under 170 grams. So 169.3, so just shy of 170 grams, which is also under the Ultegra weight. And it sounds quite nice. Drag is loud enough, and man, it may not be perfect in every category, but as a whole, it's awesome. So, field test. Yeah, it's my father over there. He came this day to, and you will see in a moment if you saw the intro. It came to help me, or at least it tried. Let's see how it pan out. And in here I'm just using the Select Javik 1.8 inches with a Super Continente size 8, so size 10 hook, and I think 1.5 or 2 gram shab weight. You cannot really use too much weight these days because for some reason this year up so far, bass really want almost weightless plastics. It has been a weird year. So let's start cooking, and by cooking I mean fishing. So I think this is like the second cast, something like that. I just cut the rest because this video will be longer than usual. And man, the lake just looks so good, and I had a quick bite. And I'm also using the Tsurunoya Virent. You'll be seeing more of this rod. I will do a review of it. It's very similar to the Seasir Rivera, but I will leave it to the review video to talk more in detail about it, because this is all about the reel, because this will be a very important reel for 2026. Just checking the message, and that's the right technique to catch bass, as it seems. So you just pause it a little bit, read your message, and catch bass. So as I said, very slow. So this was a couple of days ago, so already in the second half of May, and fishing, it's still very slow, which is quite weird. So, and I'm also very slow. And it just put water on the lens of the camera. So this lure doesn't fail. It's a solid catching machine. And first bass on the combo. Let's put it back on the water over there so it doesn't tell the friends. And now you don't see, I'm very quiet, but I saw a huge ass bass over there. And by huge, it's probably the biggest bass that I saw up to this day. So let's try to see if I can get it, because it is huge. And later we figure it out how to take it out. That was basically the idea overall on this thing. So this is my reaction, seeing the bass coming after my lure, and
Agora como é que eu tiro isto daqui? É gigante.
yeah, it's a giant bass. And I just asked my dad for help, because I don't know how I will be able to take it out. I really need my net, and I don't even know if my net can get there. And even if it can get to the water, I have to pull the bass over the grass. So it's quite a difficult task. You can hear the braid expanding through the guides. The crackling noises are a bit scary, but I don't really allow the bass to have a lot of drag out, because that will be the end of the game. It will just dip, dive, and take the hook off. Now I'm just trying to push it over the grass while my dad is working the net over there, and I still have it. And now we get on a conundrum, because I forgot to tell my dad that since I let the net fall when I think I was on the trout tournament, the mechanism really has to be pulled hard for the net to open, so you shouldn't and I just give a little bit of line to the bass. You shouldn't really try to open it with the net fully extended, so you have a little bit more leverage on the pull, the telescopic pull. And I think now I lost it on that movement of the rod. Yeah, I think the bass is still there fighting, but I think right now if I'm hooked, I'm barely hooked. And you see the conundrum with the net. So you have to have the two hands right now. It's a snapping mechanism, and during the fall I think something got messed up. So, and I'm trying to say to my dad to not make all the force down on the pole, because it will break it. So I just said to him to be careful with the blank of the. And I just gave a little bit of line, trying to take it out of the grass, but I think the bass, it's gone. So yeah, now I'm just pulling grass, and this is what I have to show you guys. Nothing. So after this heartbreaking moment shared between father and son, now I have my net open, but unfortunately I think that bass is not coming over for Christmas. But I keep the spirits up. And I was catching, I would say, chunky bass, even though they are not the biggest. They are quite fun, because as you can see, they are quite healthy. Look at the belly on this bass. It's actually quite cool. Look at the size of the mouth compared to some other places where I bass fish, where the mouth is big and the fish is small. Look at the small size of this mouth to the size of the fish, which is a good indication of the health of the bass on this lake. So I've caught, I would say, a decent amount, because this lake, it's not that easy to fish. As you can see, there's only this spot where you can fish, so it's not that easy to fish, because this is a big lake and you have to account yourself on the fish that come near this spot. And another one, very healthy population, I have to say. Look. And now I'm just using the Rego frog. And man, this thing this year has been working like clock. So you can work it top water, or like I did in here, if it's not too windy, so the wind doesn't drag your line and push the lure to the top, you can let it fall very slow. As I said before, weightless has been the key this year. bass. I don't know if the water hit the temperature. When I hold the bass in here, it seems like it, but oh, another one. And a little bit of drag peel. I opened the drag a little bit and I caught another one. And I don't know what the hell happened. Bass seem a little bit lethargic, even though this day they were munching quite good. They still rely on slow moving targets. It's a little bit weird. I have a shallower spot, a smaller lake, where they are targeting a little bit faster. I went there the other day, but on the bigger bodies of water, they are still very slow, and we are already on May. So very, very weird, but I'm still happy because I'm catching fish. So the reel, man, again, if there's no quality control issues this time, and I think not, because a lot of guys on the WhatsApp group have bought this reel and they are quite satisfied with it. I think this will be a S tier. And another one, man, and another chunky bass. Again, look, very, very healthy bass, even though it's small. It's on a solid diet. This one has a little bit of a bigger mouth, but look, they just want that frog. Again, my point was the reel, it's actually quite good. I would say when I upgrade the tier list, this one will be on the top with the other ones, because the Tagman is a very good reel for the price point. This one being, I would say, on a similar, a little bit cheaper price point. It's even better. I would not say this is a super ultralight or ultralight reel, but starting on ultralight and moving up to light fishing, the Hera Pro family, it's just such a good bargain. For sure, if this holds up and I don't hear any nightmare stories like we had with the Linkshi, and that's one of the good things of the WhatsApp group. I have a lot of feedback that you can join because it's linked down in the description of this video. It's a great thing because I have feedback from these like less expensive things that people buy, and we have multiple sources corroborating the story. So a lot of folks have the Hera, they like it, no quality control issues so far. The drag is holding. I fish this combo a lot, even though in here I just use this video because the other spots that I went, I just got very, very small, malnutritious bass. So I keep this one for the reel review. The other one I'll probably use for the rod review. But the drag doesn't have a scratch, the drag cog. So overall, I'm quite happy. The combo, I have to say, even though I said the Tsurunoya variant looks very similar to the Seasir Rivera, this one just has a little bit less delay. So when it's flexing back to this straight, to being straight as a rod, it bounces a lot faster to the straight position. And another chunky bass. So, and my dad is over there struggling a little bit. I don't know. How can I explain? It comes full circle. I think I've said this before. He teach me everything I know about fishing, and now I'm teaching him everything I know about fishing, which is not a lot, I have to say. I mainly, right now, I will not say mainly, I exclusively do spinning and casting ultralight and super ultralight for predators and adjacent species, and has been quite a journey with him and my son understanding fishing. And I think I'm getting quite good now, not to compliment myself too much. So probably next year I will start to do dedicated guides to different species that we target in Portugal that can be applied, I think, anywhere. So stay tuned for that. And another one. And man, again, as I said before, this frog, it's so good. It's quite a magical thing to behold. It's again decent size. Even the small ones are putting a good fight. I'm really a growing passion for this lake, especially after hooking that big one, and now I'm just triggered to get there and try to catch him for real. So I'm not coming here with very thin lines because I know what I can encounter, and I know that there are more than one of that size and caliber over here. So another one, this one, it's still on the damn frog. This one a little bit, I would not say smaller, but not as fat as the other ones. As you can see, it has a little bit of a bigger mouth, but too good. And I have to say that something changed either on my technique or on the supercontinent hooks themselves, because I'm not having any problems bending the hooks the last couple of months. So I don't know when was the last time that I've bent the hook, and now I just swapped weights. I'm using a stick weight, not a stick weight, a poop weight or potato weight, whatever you want to call it, that will fall, and when you retrieve it, it will just work a little bit the same way as walking the dog. So it will, how can I say it? It will dance from one side to the other, like doing short cornering, and it also works quite well for bass. This year they are very keen on green, at least this part of the years. Not a lot of success with shrimp imitations, crawfish imitations. This year has been all about green and slow falling.
Não era o que eu estava a ver há bocado, só que o gajo não criou.
Look, this one, it's, I would say, probably one of the best of the day. And this one is giving me a hard time because it's very hard to hold it, and very decent. And I'm showing my dad what I was using because I want him to catch fish, and I think he caught not in this lake but on the round lake. We just went there for him to catch some fish. In here it's quite difficult because you have to sight fish a little bit, be very accurate with the casting, but he's getting there. And with that said, a wrap up. This is not the excellent reel on any specifics, but as a whole product is almost perfect. This will be on the S tier for sure if there's no quality control issues. And with that said, this is a wrap up. I really recommend this reel. If you want to check it out, it's linked down in the description, as well everything I used on this video. And with that said, just remember, if you like the video, leave a like. If you have anything to say, leave a comment down below. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe or become a member. It's quite cheap, 99 cents, either dollars or euros or whatever, it's the equivalent on your currency locally. And now this is a wrap. I will see you guys on my next video. Bye!